Hello and welcome to the Soulful Shift podcast. This is going to be an episode that's a little different than usual. I actually have no idea where it's going to go, to be honest with you, but there's just something that's been sitting on my heart that I need to share here and some thoughts that have been going through my mind the last couple of months as we navigate 2026. And as you can see, I am on my couch. It is a Sunday, what is it? Early afternoon on a Sunday. So much different vibe. I tend to do trainings on my podcast, but today I really felt the call just to share some thoughts because 2026 has been a doozy year already. And what I really feel, what's been really coming through myself and what I've been going through myself, and this, I want to share some thoughts with you in case you're going through this as well. And it's also a call to action. It really is a call to action that I believe is coming through me right now. I have felt this frustration. It's like this frustration of, okay, everybody, we've seen enough evidence. We've seen enough evidence of what's going wrong in the world. It is no longer the option to sit around and complain or feel bad about the state of the world that we're in. It is no longer an option. And that's why I feel this frustration is coming from within me. And it's directed towards myself as well. Okay. So it's just not at the world at large. And so I want to share what I've been going through in case this might help you. This is actually what's starting to come through is okay. So this year we've looked and we've seen it's crazy out there, right? We can see it's complete mayhem. What we've been really shown is a lot of narcissistic leaders who, essentially have been running a giant pedophile child trafficking ring. Okay. I mean, that doesn't even that doesn't even scratch the surface of what's going on. We're only seeing a minuscule thing of what's been going on in this world. And, there's many of us who knew this was going on for a long time. But when you see it and you actually realize it's true, it hits a little bit deeper. And so there's a part of all of us that I believe has to go through this moment of just like anger, right? But we also have to see a couple other things so clearly. First of all, there are no repercussions. There is very, very few people being held accountable. Very few. Okay. And that in of itself is gut wrenching and alarming. Like, just think about that. Basically, evidence has shown up that there are leaders in this world who are eating babies. Think about that for a moment. Think about that for a moment. And they're lying. They're bold-facedly lying. And this is not a podcast about getting down at all. Like I said, I think we've got to see it, but we've also really got to see it. People, this is what's going on in the world. And very few people are being held accountable. Now we have a war going on. Now, whether you support this or don't support it, I'm not going to get into it. However, my personal view is that humans killing other humans can never go anywhere good. That's just my personal belief. But, regardless, I think most of us can agree the loss of lives is not a good thing. We've seen so many places now where men are not being held accountable. Women are enraged. They're enraged. Like, they're so done with being minimized, being disregarded. I mean, if you even look at the Epstein files, how many women came forward and saying this happened and nobody believed them, right? I mean, there's just so much happening. And where is it all pointing to? And that's where I go to. Okay, where is this all pointing to us? And what can I do about it in my own personal life? What can I actually do? Because I also know that sitting around and getting angry, upset, and frustrated doesn't really help. We need to use that frustration. We need to use our anger constructively, right? And so where I also went to in my mind is really looking deeply at, okay, this world has all these rules. There's all these rules in this world of how the world is supposed to function, how you create success, how you do things, what makes you a good person, what makes you a bad person, what is good, what is bad. My God, this world is so full of rules. And a lot of the population has been following the rules, right? We're being good citizens, we're being good people, and we're trying to do the right thing with really good and pure heart intentions, right? I know a lot of you who listen to my podcast and my show are that way. But what I want to ask you is how far is that getting not only you, but how far is it getting the world? Because you want to consider now a lot of those rules that have been thrown at us on the news, on the TV, really, people coming forward claiming to be somebody, claiming to live this way, claiming to be this way, claiming to believe these things. Well, we're quite clearly seeing they don't walk the talk. And here we all are walking the talk. So we have to see that a lot of the rules that were created about how the world runs and how it exists was created by a group of people that have shown their true colors. Okay? So, again, I've looked at myself and I thought to myself, okay, where am I still giving my power away? Where am I still following some rules? Where am I still trying to create results the old way? Because what we've clearly seen is what we've been shown to be true isn't true. Now, this throws everything on its head. Everything. And I always look at evidence. Not evidence that I'm told, not statistics, not data that I'm told, but I look around the world around me and I go, okay, this person's following the rules. This person's doing it this way. This person's doing it that way. Which one's actually working? Who's actually happy? Who's successful? Not just like financially, and it's a big part of it, absolutely. But who's also happy? Who's also living the most rich, rewarding life? And where I'm sitting right now, what I see is that all those rules, and I've known this for years and I've been teaching this for years, but the evidence now is so overwhelming that the rules we've been taught to follow simply don't work. And so I've been really looking at my life deeply in the last 4 to 5 weeks, going, where am I still following rules? Where am I still holding on to beliefs? Where am I still trying to control outcomes? And I have been doing personal development work for a freaking long time. And what I can tell you, it has shocked me where and how much I am still doing this. It's insane. I just had like, I feel like my whole life flash in front of my eyes. And I'm, oh my God, Andrea, I can't believe you're still doing this. I cannot believe you're still doing this. And we know that we've heard that expression before that, we're like onions, right? The layers come off. And I know deeply that I've been doing this work for years and the layers have been coming off. But we are really at the point now where we have to be brutally honest with ourselves and have the hard conversations with ourselves and with others. And this is what started to come through just before I hit record is if you look at the world right now, we see a lot of people not being held accountable. And I looked at myself and I thought, how many places in my own life have I either not held myself accountable or I have not held others accountable? And that's where it got really, really interesting because what I discovered about myself is that for a very long time, I have chosen kindness over accountability. Not in all areas of my life. What I discovered was certain pockets, certain areas. I have still tried to soften things for people. And even in my content, even in everything I share, I've actually recently really toned down the amount of short form content that I write. And it's very intentional because I personally believe we're at a place in this world where short form content isn't helpful. I actually don't believe it is. It doesn't go deep enough for where we are right now. And if you're also feeling this, I have a newsletter on LinkedIn. I've only got 2 episodes posted so far, but they're coming every week. When I say only, what I mean is it's brand new newsletter I'm so excited about. It's called In My Words because I'm sharing all these thoughts and experiences that I have and how to create success, how to be a leader, all those things. I'm also doing much more podcasts. Join me on YouTube. Join me on my podcast. Also, if you go to my website, about 45 seconds in after you join my website, a pop-up will come up, join my newsletter. More long form. We are no longer in the place when we can look at a hack, we can do things. We have to look at where are we not holding others accountable? And this is such a big part of leadership. And where are you not holding yourself accountable? And we need to start doing this in a big way. And it's not being rude and it's not being obnoxious. But look where around you, where you have been silently swallowing things, silently dealing with things out of kindness, out of tolerance, out of I don't know what, just not wanting to get involved. The situation with the US men's hockey team win was such a classic example of that. You know, a lot of the players said, we didn't love the joke that Trump was making, but, they didn't speak up either. That's happening everywhere. I mean, it's easy to call them out. It was so blatant. But where are we not standing in our truth and speaking up and saying something? We have been living in a world where it's one or the other. Either we're rude and obnoxious and we're commenting evilly, things on platforms, social media, or we're silent. And neither of those things are working. They're not working for you and they're not working for this world. So true leadership right now is not only holding yourself accountable, and it's also holding others accountable in a biggest way. And it may feel freaking uncomfortable. And I'm with you on this. Okay. I'm 100% with you. I am stretching myself to such a degree. This morning I wrote a post on LinkedIn and somebody wrote something about it. What did they say? They said, oh, much love, beautiful. And it wasn't a woman. If a woman calls me beautiful, women often do that with each other. But when a man does it, all of a sudden I thought to myself, would he write on someone's content if it was a man, much love, handsome? No, probably not. It's things like this. And we think these are little micro things when we're not standing in our truth and standing up for ourselves. We are no longer in a time where we can just pretend things are going to fix themselves because the leaders have shown their colors, clearly shown their colors. And so now it's like the universe, life, God, source, whatever you want to say, is saying, hey, look, we've shown you. We've shown you what's really going on, and it's not to depress you and it's not to get you down. It's for you to reclaim your power, take back your power, hold others responsible in your life. It could be your personal life, it can be anywhere. And start doing it because you can see now the mask is off, the facade is over. It is now time to reclaim your power. And I'm doing it with you. Like I said to you, I'm doing this in such a way right now that it's even surprising me. Like life has slowed right down for me. And I'm spending a lot more time in contemplation going, where am I still putting up with things that are not okay, either from myself or from people and situations in my life, my business? Doesn't matter where it is. It is now time to hold yourself and the world responsible because that is the only way we can actually move forward. That is the way. And it's not a negative thing and it's not a threat and it's not meant to instill fear. It's actually liberation. We're being liberated from all the rules that, you know what, most of us could feel that weren't actually working for us, right? There's always been these few that have everything. And now you can see because they created rules that we were supposed to follow that they weren't following. So what does that do for you? It liberates you. Start making your own rules. Start doing it your own way. Your mind is going to do a number on you. Mine's been doing a freaking number on me like I haven't seen for the longest time. Man, all these doubts are coming in. My brain's been in overdrive going, Andrew, you can't do that. You can't do that. Oh my God, that's rude. Oh my God, the stories. I'm doing this with you. It's time we all need to do this together. Okay, I'm going to keep this short. I'm going to stop this here. I hope this was helpful for you. I'd love to hear in the comments, share where you're at, how you're feeling. How did this land? What can you do today to hold yourself more accountable, hold those around you more comfortable, doing it from a heart-centered place, but still being firm? Where can you do that? And challenge yourself. Go deep. Go deep. This is the time to do it. All right, beautiful. So I hope you're having an amazing day, an amazing weekend. And honestly, I hope you're making this an amazing year. And I'll talk to you soon.